we have to talk about like the safety procedures that weren't followed with Saudi basically. So for a track to be on the calendar, if it's a new track, it has to be safely approved essentially by someone from the FIA. They have to go to a track, look at the track, check all the kind of parameters have been fulfilled and all of that. That's 120 days before the race. If it's a track that has been already on the calendar, then that's 90 days. The track's not finished, and we're like 5 days out from the race, 6 days out from the race.
Yeah, at time of recording, we're on Monday right now. This will come out at the end of the week.
It's a joke.
We have no news, like.
Yeah, it's a joke. Like, that's the thing, like, I don't think, like, you can't give up safety in a sport like Formula 1. Because you're putting people's lives in danger. Like, I don't know, like, expecting a driver to die for them or, like, get horribly injured like Roman, for them to be like, oh, we shouldn't have put this on the calendar. No, but, like, follow the procedures from the beginning, you can't, like, this is what we're talking about, politics,
Yeah.
This racetrack is on the calendar because of politics. Like, it could be a great racetrack, I think it's going to be a great racetrack, but the fact that it's on this year is because of politics. Which is incredibly disappointing because they're putting the drivers' lives in danger, and, like, for what?
I know, I feel like F1 in general is always very reactive with safety. Like, it's never, apart from, I'd say, the Halo, everything has been reactive. Yeah. Like, the Halo was the first time they said, we're going to do something to
but that wasn't that, like, reactive almost to what happened to Jules? It was introduced a few years later.
Was it actually?
Because I remember
it was
dropped on his head. Like, the thing, he was stuck below it. So if there was a halo, he would not have, like, passed away.
So even then, it's always reactive. They see something happen and then they go, oh,
but like, this is the thing, like, these procedures are already laid out, like, to approve the circuit, but you haven't approved the circuit. That's the thing, like, it took them, like, 3 weeks to, like, change circuits this year because of, like, Singapore was out, Vietnam was out, Japan was out, was it China? China was out.
China was meant to be on, but it got taken off.
And they're all taken out because of COVID. And basically, they put on new tracks really quickly. Like, we haven't lost the number of tracks that stayed 23 the whole year.
Is it 22 now total, 22. But still, like, we've dropped one out of the number of cancellations.
Great turnout. But that means they had 120 days to sort out another racetrack. Instead, if you want to stay in the Middle East, they could have done, I don't know, Bahrain could have had another race there. To be fair, they had two in Bahrain, so they could have done maybe something in Europe. They had 120 days to sort it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you had a long enough time to sort out a racetrack. Bro, they could have just had one in South Africa. Probably not the best, like, with COVID and stuff.
They could have moved Qatar and then kept the triple header to end in South America.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You had 120 days to sort this out. We knew, from 4 months ago that it's not really going to be finished on time. 90 days ago, like 3 months ago, we were talking about, like, maybe 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago. We were talking about the track wasn't even half done. So they knew about this, but instead of looking for, like, because they had enough time to look for a different track, but they did not do anything. So, yeah, it's incredibly disappointing. I hope nothing happens to any of the drivers. Like, I hope, like, the stuff that was left out was, like, if the FIA had at least released a statement that, okay, this track has been looked at and we've monitored and we've checked that at least, like, all the necessary facilities have been fulfilled, but, like, the stuff we're missing are, like, the stands and this is it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, hospitality stuff, you don't really care. But the FIA has not acknowledged any of this, and we're just sitting here and we're like, what's happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
it's just uneasy the fact that they're still working on the track as we speak. Like, that's the weirdest
and the race is in, like, 6 days.
It's awful. It's just worrying. It's got worrying written all over it.
I hope like if we leave Saudi and everyone's kind of intact, then that's good. But we were talking as well about, like, the marshals are volunteers. We were talking about this with Christian Horner.
Oh yeah.
And with what happened to Roman and was it Bahrain?
It was
Bahrain.
Yeah.
Would they have had enough time to train up these volunteers? With the racetrack, with the racetrack not having been used before, people like the marshals have never worked there. They have never seen the racetrack. So even if they've been trained, they don't actually know the layout. They don't know what's happening. They don't know where like stuff's gonna happen. Like if you're working at Monza and you know like people are gonna crash, you know people are gonna crash here, here, and here essentially.
Yeah.
Or, like,
even I've memorized Monza.
Exactly. No, not even Monza. Like Bahrain, the marshals there. They knew okay, like here, here, and here, for instance. But with Saudi, would they have managed to finish that stuff? Are the marshals trained? Because we saw in Bahrain what happened to Rome, and if something like this happens and the marshals aren't quick,
yeah,
that could be the difference between someone getting burns on their hands and someone potentially dying, or getting severe burns all over their body. They did change the gloves, so if there's a fire, it should be a bit better. But it's not ideal.
Reactive, it's just you can just tell, like this is pre something happening potentially, and then if something does happen, they're gonna change the rules and try and implement something. But it's always a reaction from F1. They're never, like you said, the rules are in place. They're already there. It's a 120-day rule, and it's there for a reason.
But they're not implementing these rules.
Yeah, they just let everything slide for the sake of the
money
show
and politics. Well, this is the same thing we're talking about this with like drivers and the stewards essentially. Let them drive philosophy. The issue with that is drivers will get kind of like, oh, I can push him off track, oh, I can push him, but then that's not, the issue is not pushing someone off track and like losing a lead or stuff like that. It could potentially, if you push in the wrong corner, it could potentially have dangerous side effects. But that's the thing, they're not thinking about that when you're going into a corner at 120 or 250 kilometers an hour. Or even like on some streets they reach 300 kilometers an hour, and you're braking, you're not thinking, can I push him out on this corner? That's not the thought in your head. You're like, I don't want to let him pass, so I'm going to push him out. But is it going to be is that corner going to be forgiving? Like the one in Brazil was fine because there's a lot of runoff. But if he goes into the gravel and then straight into a barrier, and they're going at such speeds, or if they clip him or like something like that, you can see like the thing that's coming to mind is Fernando in Australia.
Oh,
and
yes.
I remember him.
2016.
I vividly remember him saying like, I saw the sky and then the ground and then the sky and then the ground again.
That is, I will link that.
And I got out of the car and I called my mom and I can vividly remember like it was a horrific accident. The fact that someone can go through the accident and actually walk out, that is
he just hopped up the car.
It's a testament to like the safety, improved safety in F1. But this is such an easy fix. Like, change the circuit. I have Saudi from next year. Not that hard. Why are you following? They're not following. The FIA aren't following their own rules.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. It's just the grey areas. Like if you leave a grey area for the engineers, they'll take advantage of it.
No, but that's the whole point.
You leave a grey area for the drivers, they'll take advantage of it, and it's just a problem because I don't know. We're talking about ground effect and stuff for next year. What they're doing. The reason it was removed in the first place was because safety. In the 80s, they didn't have the safety to handle the cornering speeds that ground effect cars would produce. They're bringing it back now because we have the safety for that. Like, that's just an example of a grey area that just...
Do we?
I guess we'll find out next year, and then if something happens, they're just going to, I don't know, make another rule about it. Or introduce, like, a triple halo.
Triple halo. You know, I actually kind of like how the halo looks. I know a lot of people say they don't like the halo, but I think it actually adds a bit to the car. Like, it's a bit weird in terms of, like I think the halo looks a lot better than the one they use in IndyCar. It's like this kind of like
aero
glass
shield thing.
Yeah, that looks dead, bro. Plus, it's like bad for like the driver getting out of the car. Like, if Roman was in that car and the car's burning, he's not getting out of that car.
What, the shield one?
Yeah, he's not getting out.
Is it that high?
It's tight. It's like high.
Oh wait, yeah. No,
like
I was
thinking
of it as a
lot lower.
smaller.
The halo is a lot lower. Plus, like you saw that with Lewis with the car on his head. But then that's the thing. Is the halo high enough?
Gonna hold that.
Is the halo high enough? Because like Lewis got like pressed down, so like should the halo be a bit higher or should it be tighter? But then I guess that's kind of like a constraint between you want to get the halo, but at the same time you want to give enough room for the driver to be able to jump out in case of a fire.
It will probably become closed cockpit. I'd say very soon they'll probably just switch to closed cockpit. They'll find a way of allowing drivers to get out quickly. And
I hope they don't, to be honest. I really hope. Because I actually preferred the cars from like pre-like 2016. Like, you know, like 2016's the car were so nice. That was pre-Halo, isn't it?
It was. The first? Yeah, no, Halo was 2018.
Those cars look much better than with the Halo. Like, I don't mind the Halo, but
I think the skinny cars in general look good. Like 17 had some very good looking cars, but the wide tires just look kind of strange to me.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the cars look bad from after like I think 2008, basically. After that, they just look bad.
Not really.
No, after that, like, you know, you get like the iconic Red Bulls, which look good, don't look bad. But then you got that weird nose thing where they're
That's 14, yeah.
Bro, they look so bad, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah, right. Well,
that looked, honestly, that looked disgusting. Like,